Hey everybody, my name is Josh Rosenberg. I'm the second vice president for TWU Local 556, here with another news edition of AirWaves. Today is Friday, August 21st. I'm here with First Vice President Sam Wilkins, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what's been going on in the local. Sam, first I wanted to ask about, we had our executive board meeting last week, and one of the big things that was a little unique about this meeting is we met with higher level executives from Southwest Airlines. So do you want to talk a little bit about what we spoke to them about and what the takeaway was?
Sure, Josh. So we had Andrew Watterson, our Chief Operating Officer, Steve Crystal, who is the Vice President of Air Operations, which includes pilots, flight attendants, crew scheduling, crew planning, kind of everything to do with crew. We also met with Steve Murtoff. He is the in-flight vice president, and we also met with Kevin Minchie, who is the vice president of labor relations. And we talked about several issues that we've had over the last couple of years. The relationship is strained. We did communicate that we are seeking to better the relationship because a better labor management relationship means good things for our flight attendants. And so we talked about some of the issues that we've had with grievance process, because that's a big part of contract enforcement, but also disciplinary issues. And then we also talked about just bringing us in earlier when there's decisions that are critical to the airline and that impact our flight attendant work group. So that was a main takeaway. And then lastly, it is that TWU 556, we are the voice and represent the 23,000 members, and we need to be looked at as equals, business partners. We do have the most interaction with our customers. We arguably are the brand. We are why people continue to fly us, and they need to continue to recognize that we have equal footing when it comes to TWU 556 and Southwest Airlines.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. And so I heard you talk a little bit about the grievance process and, what that has looked like over the past, couple of years. And, speaking of that, we had an arbitration also. So do you want to talk a little bit about what that was about, how we prepare for that, and maybe your gut feeling on, how we left it?
Sure. Yeah, I would love to. So, a couple of weeks ago, we arbitrated the passes on leave case. It was a group grievance that was filed a couple of years ago. And we believe that our flight attendants should be able to have access to their past privileges while on a leave of absence, as well as their dependents or their eligible travelers, if you will. So we did grieve that and we slated it for arbitration. The board passed it earlier this year, which essentially moves it along in the process and scheduled the arbitration. It was held 2 weeks ago. And yeah, I mean, my gut feeling, I never want to, when we put anything in a third party's hand, right? So any contract grievance, it is the burden of the union to prove that the company violated the contract, which is different than a discipline grievance. The company has to prove they justly and properly discipline someone. And so we prepared for several weeks. We presented the case in front of the arbitrator, and, we will see how it plays out. But we did put on a very strong case. We had testimony from myself, Liz Howiak, contract negotiator, and Ann Claire Crawford, our union leave specialist and board member at large. So I do think that we did a great job in making sure that the arbitrator knew our issue, knew what we believe the company violated, and we will have to see how that plays out. Post-hearing briefs are due usually within 30 to 60 days, and then the arbitrator can have, anywhere from 3 to 6 months to make a decision. There's no hard and fast contract language that says it has to be due by a certain time frame. But we want to bring you all along in this process, much like we did with the SIPS arbitration, as well as the vision arbitration, because we want you guys to be aware of what's happening and the work that's behind the scenes going on your behalf to hold Southwest accountable to the contract and in enforcing that contract.
Okay, great. So, like I said, today is August 21st, right? So maybe a decision anywhere from 3 to 6 months, just depending on when the arbitrator can finish up their work on it.
Yes. And Josh, one other thing I wanted to mention is mid-August, we did send out our mid-year grievance update,
Mhm.
which included several of the group grievances that we have slated for arbitration. So if you want to look at where we are just kind of holistically with our grievances, that's a good way to do it. So it lists all the contract grievances, it lists all the group grievances, and then it also lists where we are in total grievances. So it is a good way for you to learn about what's going on day in and day out to not only enforce the contract, but protect members from unjust discipline.
And speaking about knowing what's going on and being updated, we do have a membership meeting coming up on Wednesday, August 26th at 11 a.m. Central Time. So please be sure to keep an eye out for a registration link that comes through your email, so you'll be able to join us on Wednesday, the 26th, for our membership meeting to see, everything that's going on and get all the good info and participate in your union. So that's it. That's all for the news update today. Once again, thanks, Sam Wilkins, first vice president, and we will see you next time. Take care.
Bye, everyone.